I am going to try to turn on my one stream real quick,
Okay.
and it's not letting me do it. For this platform to stream automatically start once the video stream starts. I have them all turned on auto, or supposed to be auto start. Oh, okay. I push one button and there it goes. So hooray for that.
Go technology.
I was streaming to Be Live last Friday, and I had a lot of people on, and I swear every last person that was on that mastermind was brilliant, and it didn't record because I did not hit start twice. All I saw is that it was green and that people were on and I could talk to them. That was enough for me.
But it's they're not going to stop being brilliant just because you didn't record them.
I mean, man, the
just
landing pages I could have made for everyone that was on that live stream. It's like, wow.
You're just attracting yourself. That's all. So.
Well, I got all my channels on now. So I should tell everyone that I am here with Nyota Gordon. Yay. Nyota, tell the good people how you been and what you've been up to.
Hello, good people. Thank you so much, Erica, for having me here today. I am Nyota Gordon. I am adaptability coach and leadership strategist. I like how Erica says it. She says that I'm a mindset coach. And I was like, I don't even think of that, but Erica thinks so. I help people through their many transitions and learning the skill that comes out of those transitions is being adaptable. I really help people hone that and use that superpower of adaptability to move forward in their personal and professional lives.
It really is a superpower. That's what I tell you when I made the pivot from working with freelance graphic designers to business coaches. Mm-hmm. It was really hard, and I'm still in that transition. So yeah, adaptability is a superpower, and as soon as you learn it and start using it, the better off you will be.
Yeah, because you may as well embrace it, because transition and change is going to come, and you can either use it to, like I said, propel you forward, or use it to drag you down. And you might as well use it to propel you forward because it's coming anyway. So
yes. So tell everyone how you got started in hosting events.
For sure. How I got started all in general, even with the whole conversation of transition and being adaptable and all of that, I am a military veteran. I was in the Army for 22 years. I'm retired, and I had a really tough transition moving from military life to civilian life. Like I really struggled, not having the structure in place that I had in the military, and not having, being able to transition and carry that structure with me in civilian life. And for whatever reason, I didn't get that I can create my own structure. Hello. And once I figured that out, now I had somewhere to be. Now I had, before, I had someone telling me what to do or where to be and all of that. And I didn't have those things. So now I got to kind of put that structure in. I realized that structure, it was my mental health strategy. And I would talk it, that's not part of my mental health strategy. Oh, working this part-time job is part of my mental health strategy. And I would just kind of say it pretty flippantly, but it really is the structure of everything that I do and everything I have done that has been great. And that structure, I wanted to be able to share it. So that's how I kind of getting in the space of streaming. And I met my friend, Doc Williams, which he wasn't even my friend. I didn't even know him. I saw him on a summit that AppSumo was doing. And then from there, I met Erica. And I feel like my whole life has opened up from there. But, but I actually, it was actually from a summit, and just, then having this conversation of going live and streaming and being able to show up in all of these different places by doing one live event instance, something like that. And I started out with, I used to do walk and talks, and then I did a town hall, and I did a little baby summit, and I'm, planning another summit. So I'm growing, I'm stepping into the space. And this too is a skill of streaming. So I'm working on it. That was
I like that you're still growing, still moving forward. So you started out doing the walk and talk, and that was inspired by you attending another summit?
No, I started doing the walk and talks just because whenever you, and I recommend this for everyone, go outside, right? And walk, run, even if it's just for 5 minutes. But it's something about when I'm outside walking, like I'm so smart. And it's just like I'm streaming, like God is talking directly to me. And and then so the first few times I just kind of started it on my birthday, maybe the year before last. And then I was just going live every day. I didn't plan what I was going to say. I would just go live, just talking about what was on my heart or what was in my head. And mind you, the things that were on my heart were always better than the things that were in my head. So, and that's how I kind of maybe got comfortable talking, talking out loud like that.
So is it the adrenaline or the dopamine from the adrenaline that makes you smarter? Or was it just there the whole time and you have access to it when you run?
I think it's the connecting with the being outside and the body connection, with the being outside and connecting with my body and connecting with my heart. I use walking, even right now, walking and running as like a walking meditation, a walking prayer, an opportunity for me to not just talk to God, but listen to what he's telling me. He, she, them, they. I don't know what you call God. It's him. It's he for me. But to be able to be open to what God is telling me, and who and where, all the things. And I think just being able to just turn on my camera when I was getting what I perceived as that download.
So when you first start doing the walk and talk, what made you turn that camera on the first time?
I knew and know that I don't always show up on social media. I don't always show up. The people that I talk to, they're like, what? You're crazy. Like, why are you not on that third platform just because I'm so overly animated and all that sort of thing? But I don't, for me, I don't think that those are the only ways to show up, but it is the most efficient way to show up. Right. And which is crazy because I love like policies and procedures, rules, regulations, SOPs, laws, that sort of thing. So, when you put this one thing in place, it has all these second, third, fourth orders effect. So I don't know why I'm so resistant, but, that's why I just know I wasn't showing up and I was already walking anyway.
Yeah. So when you make these rules or standard operating procedures for yourself, do you write them out? Are they displayed somewhere?
I can, yeah. So I can show you the start of how they come. Can you see? So I have these really big Post-its and I start writing them, and I also write on I also have like the chalk paint. So I also write on my sliding doors. So they kind of start there so I can see it big. And then I bring stuff down to, yeah. So yeah. Yep.
That's good.
All kinds of, yeah. Yeah. Cause you got to get it out of your head. Like I have to get it out of my head.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's magic in writing.
I agree.
So you started off with the walk and talk. You started off by live streaming, and then you hosted your first summit, which was a town hall. How'd it go?
It went pretty well because the speakers invited some of the people that they know. So that made it interesting for me because there were people in the audience that I didn't know. And what I also liked about that town hall, we did it like on Zoom. So it was interactive. So, the audience were able to ask questions directly to the guest, and I was able to ask questions to them, and it was just I liked the interactiveness of it. And then also we streamed it on Facebook and other platforms like that. So it went pretty well. Just, and with that being my first one, it was just really interesting to get that real-time feedback and just seeing the expressions on the speakers' faces, and when you ask a question that they really enjoyed. Like, so I really liked it.
How did you pick your first set of speakers for that event, your town hall?
So I was talking about having a mental health strategy, and I wanted to talk about the play part of having a mental health strategy. It can sound so heavy to say mental health, like we take that so seriously, and the word strategy can also be a word that can come across as really heavy. But part of a strategy is to build in a part of play or relaxation, release, something like that. And so I wanted to talk about it. So the folks that I had on, they were both therapists. And one of them spoke specifically of an event that they invited other therapists so they could come together and basically play.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, so that's why I picked them.
So did they volunteer inviting other people to the event, or did you have to ask them? Did you have to coerce them?
No, I asked them, I was like, feel free to invite anyone, because the thing is, the truth of the matter is I do these like for myself. Like they're my questions, they're things that I kind of want to know. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, it is you can invite your own friends and stuff. Since it was just a town hall, it wasn't even really built for me trying to build my list or anything. It was really just me being nosy and trying to find out stuff for myself. So yeah, but it wasn't hard. They invited and the first one, one of the therapists has a nonprofit, so I invited people to donate to her nonprofit. Her nonprofit was for like building in therapists of color, because there's a lot of Black people have issues, but we don't have the background or the history or the really the story to talk to a therapist. My mom used to go to a therapist, so I never really had that limitation, because she would, and I saw how it helped with my own eyes. So I was like, oh, therapists, everybody goes to a therapist, but I just took that for granted. And so it's not a place where Black people or people of color are really represented. And so that's what her nonprofit does. It really helps get people of color, women of color, men of color into that space of therapy, because representation is important.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
So what made you choose Zoom and Facebook to host your town halls?
Just because it was easy. Most people know Zoom, even if it isn't, the best platform. It's the most prevalent platform, right? Like Starbucks, and I'm going on the record of saying this, Starbucks isn't the best coffee, but it's the most prevalent. You can get Starbucks anywhere, right? You can get McDonald's anywhere. And that's kind of how Zoom is. Everyone pretty much knows how to use it. It's easy to get to, and they just make it easy where you can click that button and stream with your Facebook, and that just made it easy, not just for me, but also for my guests.
Yeah, I guess it is pretty easy for me this morning. I was struggling because I was impatient. I'm like, come on, one stream.
Yeah, but
I
see,
love
yours isn't just Facebook. You got other things attached to it. I didn't even have any tricks or bells even attached. I wasn't using OneStream. I wasn't using BeLive. It was just Zoom and Facebook, and so they make that pretty easy. So even if people
Yeah.
are wanting to get started, like they don't have to be crazy. Like you can get started on your phone. Like you can just go live, on your channel.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I went to a speakers playhouse hosted by Kimberly Crow. And a lady was talking about how she was scared to have an event. And everybody's like, just do it anyway. So within that hour, she set up a Facebook group and got booked for the month with speakers. I was like, wow, when people say just do it anyway, you do it, you
Wow.
actually can do it.
And she already had an audience, right? Like people are already
Like
following
right
her.
there and then.
Yeah, they're telling you, they're like, look, we telling you to do it because we gonna help you do it. And bam.
Yeah. I was amazed by that. So that says to you that how right you are with just doing it, just using your phone, just using what's already there. I mean, there's a button for Zoom and Facebook, or in Zoom, there's a button for Facebook. So you can just stream to it. I
Yeah,
like that.
it's just the easiest way. And even, with your phone, you can just you can go live on your Facebook page. You can go live on your Instagram page. You can go live, on Twitter. So, you can start, you can go live right now, even if it's just like, hey y'all, this is my first live. I just wanted to say hi, reach back into, ask for encouragement, encourage me. Ask.
Yeah, that's true. So the walk and talks, the town hall,
Mhm.
what was your next event?
Then I had a mental health strategy summit, and it was like the Tulsa edition. So I only had people on there from Tulsa. It was like maybe like 5 speakers, and just asking, these Tulsa folks. I had a private investigator on there, had author on there, a couple of authors on there. One of the authors, Corey Carolina, he's a children's author. He's pretty awesome. He does real estate stuff here. He's my cousin. And so, but he really is, pretty amazing. And so I just was asking them, because like I said, I'm nosy and I want to know. I had a senator on there. And I was just basically asking them, what are their personal mental health strategies? Because some people think, um, like I said, it can sound daunting. And so I just was asking them their personal strategies, because everyone's strategy isn't for everyone, but everyone can take bits and pieces from, oh, I like that. Oh, okay, I'm working on that too. I'm working on getting enough sleep, so I'm going to really be mindful, if I'm, well, not just getting sleep, but am I getting rest? So just really, asking other people, well, what are you doing? What are you doing to keep yourself sane? And I really liked it. So I wanted more of that.
I like that too. And it doesn't hurt to ask because other people might identify with it and they might want to apply it, and they would never know unless you've hosted that event.
Yeah, one of my speakers, the senator, Senator Matthews, he was going through his strategy and what he does, to keep his day structured and putting these boundaries and things in place. And one of the things he said is like he calls one of his friends that makes him laugh. And I was like, I need to do that. I need to, incorporate something in my day, whether it's, calling a friend or watching something funny, watching, episodes of Martin, something Martin always makes me laugh, right? Something like that to make me laugh. And I took that for myself, so you just don't know, what you need sometimes until you hear it.
Yeah. So did you do the same, did you keep your same promotional strategy, asking them to tell their friends about the event?
Yeah, so I asked them, I told them they could, share it. I made a couple of, images out of Canva for them so they could, share it on their pages, but I still wasn't very diligent behind it. It was like, oh, if you wanna, you can. It'd be great. And I put it on Instagram and stuff, but I still didn't pull or the audience that I could have done. And this one, I didn't give myself enough time to really promote it.
How much is enough time?
I think at least 2 weeks, because I was just like, I did it and it was like, bam, done. Right. Okay. It's going to be on here in a couple of days. So I think if you give yourself at least 2 weeks to pretty much talk about it consistently, I think that is, and giving people the opportunity to sign up for it, and asking people to come to your show. I think that that's important, and I didn't do that with the first mental health strategy summit.
With my first event, I kept saying I needed 3 months. And
Oh
my
God,
coach was
no, I
telling
would
me,
forget by then. No.
my coach was telling me, why do you need 3 months? I said, to advertise. He's like, wouldn't you just procrastinate more? Like, probably. And he's like, well, do it now.
Me, I would procrastinate so much more. Yeah, because like
He
now,
knew me so well.
yeah, like we're down to the wire, and I still, have interviews and things to do. But now that we're down to the wire, it's like I have to do, like, oh my God, like I gotta get these interviews done. Because if you give you're going to expand to the amount of time that you give yourself. So just get it done.
Was that the mental health, the Tulsa mental health strategy, was that live or pre-recorded?
It was pre-recorded. And I
Okay.
think I like the idea of pre-recorded just because people are so busy. And for me, I like the pre-recorded just for the benefit of being respectful of people's time, and then it gives me control of how I can set up, how the interviews kind of come together. Like the way the interviews go, you can line them up to tell the story, and people can interview when they can, and not like, well, you need to be there at 7:28 at this time because we're going to be wrapped. You know what I'm saying? So I think it gives me, and that could just be my controlling self, and my organizing self, a lot more control over, how you can set it up and give people, that time. Like, I have time to do it this day. You want this interview or not? Yes, please.
I thought that was more freedom because if people tell me that they're going to do something and they don't do it, I'll do it and say you can keep it or not. And you have this much time to change it if you don't like it. It's like, I don't really believe in time, but I think if you tell people you're going to have something done by a certain time, you should do it. So I'll just go ahead and do it myself. But you can't really do that with interviews.
No,
So
because you'll
when
just
I have this live show, people tell me they're going to show up and they don't. I'll just go on without them.
yeah.
And then when they call me or they'll email me, like one lady emailed me 3 minutes after, but I was already going live. I
Yeah.
just went ahead and rolled with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the I mean, there's a couple of things, like I feel like there's merit for both ways, like, so since you have like this weekly show, and the energy that we just kind of pull, from this, and then even if you were having, the audience able to engage and say, well, ask her this, well, what is that, like, what, like, I think there's an element of live that you get that has that audience engagement. and knowing that you're live, like knowing that y'all are out here watching, like there's something, it adds a different element. But even when you're recording, it's going to be live. So I still feel like it still has that, people are going to be watching this, because I'm not going to record it again. I'm only recording it this one time. So if something happens, you fall down, you knock your camera off, I'm not editing. This is what we did. Like, this is what happened. Like, so what had happened was, and this is what happened. So, but it still gives you that space to be like, is this a good time for you to do this talk?
I do like that part of it. When I did do my first event, it was pre-recorded, and everyone showed up when they said they were going to show up. Everyone didn't fill out their speaker bios. I just went to their LinkedIn and took it from there and told them they had the ability to change it if they wanted to. But other than that, everybody did what they said they would do. And I really like that part.
That's good. That's good. Because if people don't always, but I've had that same experience, and people want to help. I normally lead with that. Like, people want to help. I would tell my mom, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I live on the kindness of strangers. Like, I definitely think the world is a kind world because I'm a kind person. So I think, you get what you give, and I'm friendly. So people are friendly to me, and so I think when you just kind of go into that world with, I truly have an expectation that I'm going to help and someone's going to help me. And that's just what it is. So people show up when you show up like that.
You have definitely been kind and helpful to me. So I do appreciate that.
What? You are the kindest and most helpful. And my God, you are so smart, and you're like so resourceful, and man, but y'all watching, y'all already know that already. Like, y'all already know,
What you think is my resourcefulness is my nosiness.
Me too, because I just be wanting to know. But that doesn't just, you're not just resourceful in a way when it comes to people and asking questions and, pulling, our best selves out of us. You don't just do that. Like, you do that with all of these apps. Like, I'm telling you, are like an AppSumo strategist. Like, like the apps that would be beneficial to us in our businesses. And I just think, I don't take that lightly. Like, you will see, I'll be like, Erica, I'm looking, can you help me? I don't know. Like, I don't take that lightly, because to me, that is a gift. So you think of it as an addiction. I think of it as a total awareness of what's going on that platform. And you really use that platform to serve in a way that a lot of people don't, because you're not getting anything from it. You're not getting anything out of it. You're only doing it just to help. And I appreciate that. I don't care what all them people, I was going to call names, but I ain't going to do it. But people say that you have too many apps or anything like that. I feel like if you didn't have an invested interest in those apps, and this is my selfishness talking, if you didn't have an invested interest in those apps, you wouldn't be able to help me and the people that you help through AppSumo. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I love AppSumo. It hurt my feelings when they took away the marketplace, but you can still see how they combined everything, and some things are still labeled marketplace.
I'm sorry. Why?
I don't know.
Because I still see some of the things marketplace, but I didn't notice that they took it away, because I still see, marketplace.
Yeah, there's no category saying marketplace now. You can't just go to the marketplace anymore.
It must have got too wild. Because it must have got too wild over there.
They're having something called AppSumo Originals now. But
I mean, that's what it's about, evolving and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And I think they definitely have a handle on monetizing and all of that.
Yeah. I recently found out that they asked for 70% of the contributors for the apps. And I was like, wow.
Wait. 70,
I don't know if it's true. It's just hearsay. I heard this yesterday in an Air Meet event.
70% of what the developers received from the AppSumo platform?
Mm-hmm. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
A lot.
I have yet to confirm.
So that's why there's probably, there's limits in time, right? Because 70%. Wow. And it's really not, and they're really not that expensive for, what they're charging on AppSumo. But I'm sure there's, but you know what? There's definitely a good return on investment, right? Because you get, well, if they ask, you get the testimonials, you get people to try it out, right? So there's definitely, I could see why they would do it for a short amount of time, for a window of time. I could see that. 70% is, it's a chunk.
4 years ago, I gave Book Like a Boss $39. I swear it's the best thing I've ever bought from AppSumo. And every time I get to write a review for a Book Like a Boss, I do it. Like to this day, they're not asking me. I'm doing it right now. If you have a chance to use Book Like a Boss, use it.
I wish I would. Because I didn't know about AppSumo 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I wasn't even this person. 4 years ago, I wasn't even me, right? Like I got out of the Army in 2015, right? And so January of 2016, I was my first step of being a regular person. I didn't know anything about this world. I just knew about going to work, being a government contractor or being a government employee. Like I knew there were entrepreneurs and people were doing stuff, but I didn't know about that. My life didn't really open up until 2017. I went to a Mind Valley event, and it was in Spain. That's when they were talking about, hijacking and rebooting education and, learning in real life. And so I was like, y'all don't have, like, how did y'all get off of work? They're like, get off of work? Like, I'm a digital nomad. What is that? Like, I work from my computer. I work from my laptop. I don't really I don't have to live anywhere. I don't go to work every day. Huh? What? I don't even understand what you're saying. Yeah, it was all that was foreign. What? Yeah, I didn't know nothing about none of that. Yeah, but now I'm all in.
I do wonder how many people, even especially the people that look like me, know about digital nomads and not actually going to a physical job. Well, a lot of people now probably aren't going to a physical job. They're actually working from home, and maybe now they're starting to see what a digital nomad is. But I still wonder how many people that look like me know about that.
Yeah, and when people, how they think of it is not just, from the freelancer perspective or your job, your business does a thing, or you do this through Fiverr or Upwork or something like that. A lot of people do this through remote jobs. So they look at it more, a lot of companies, even before COVID, were starting, allowing people to do these remote jobs because it is cheaper, the overhead and stuff, not having to have a desk, that stuff is cheaper. The studies show that people are more productive when they can work from home, because your smart self is going to get all of your work done at the beginning of the day, so you can do your other stuff. Because if you're just paying people by productivity, you're paying them by their deliverables and not paying them just for being at work for the sake of being at work. I think a lot of companies were already starting and leaning in that direction. And with COVID, it just really made it a lot real. Like, well, we really don't have to have this overhead. We really don't have to have these buildings. We really can have a smaller workspace if people want to hot swap desk and things. So I think it's a lot more for people that look like us. I think it's just becoming a lot more aware and people don't want to go back to work. People are realizing that they can start their own business. They can thrive in their own businesses and still serve in a way that they've already, learned, and they're already skilled in this way. You don't have to do that for someone else. You can do that for yourself. You can make your own.
No gatekeepers.
No gatekeepers, you know. But what's smart is make sure that you have some gatekeepers for yourself, though. Whether that's
Thank you for
technology,
that.
yeah, you know, whether it's technology or, you know, you put your computer down or you don't talk on the phone. It's important to have gatekeepers, though, you know.
Yeah, I like that. So with your next event, will it be your fourth event or the one that's coming up? I
I
don't
guess
remember the
it's
name
the
of it.
third.
All
I
right.
guess it really is my third truly event, right? Because it was the town hall, and then it was the Tulsa, and then now this one is called the Mental Health Strategy Show. It's a 21-day event, and the videos drop directly into your email every day.
I
So
like that.
that way, it gives people an opportunity to watch it at their own pace and distance. Like you're not. You know, forced into a 1 day or 2 day block of time and forced to sit at your computer and watch it, you know, watch those, you know, those speakers, you know, back to back to back to back. Because I just know I get overwhelmed, you know, with such shenanigans. And I like the idea of being able to build this relationship with my audience where they get to engage me and my friends over the course of 21 days. And the videos are pretty short, you know, they're like, you know, 30 minutes. Some of them maybe like 40 because they get good now. They get good. And I still have questions that was like, I still got questions for Erica. I had to cut it off, you know, but they get, you know, they get really good. And I just think being able to consume them in a small way and just build that, it's just like that compounded interest of building the relationship with me and building relationship with my audience and building the relationship with my speakers, because I want my speakers to be able to connect with my audience and my audience to connect with those speakers, because if they know that they want to host, you know, a virtual event, that they can come to you and you can help them with that, you know. And I just want them to, you know, okay, this person is an author and she writes this kind of, you know, fiction, and she looks like me. Okay, I want to read, I want to know more about that. Okay, this guy is, you know, this guy is a private investigator. Huh? I know his life can be stressful. So what is he doing, you know, to keep his life, you know, pretty level, pretty sane and not choke slamming people? You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to be able to connect all the way around.
Yeah. And it's very good to have a mental health strategy, not to just go around choke slamming people. So
But
yeah, because sometimes it can be hard not to do that.
sometimes people want to be choke slammed, but the thing is, they don't want to be
I
choke
swear they
slammed.
want to.
I swear they want to be choke slammed, right? But it's not necessary that they want to be choke slammed. It's that I am not in a position that I can handle someone that has a different opinion from me, or that sometimes I'm not in a position where, you know, I can't, or I don't want to, maybe that's it. I don't want you to say something that I don't want you to say. Like, I want you to say yes to me whenever I ask for something. Now, how about that? But I know that's not always realistic. But part of that strategy is like, girl, calm down. They don't have to do what you say. You're not the boss of everybody. I could.
It was just I'm not saying that I want my way. Yes, I do want my way, but I know I'm not going to get everyone to give me my way. It's just that when people, I swear that they are purposely trying to find buttons to push. Like I don't like people to touch me. I don't like people to be within more than 3 feet of me. And when you're this close to me and you're pushing buttons,
Right.
I don't like that.
Right. Right. Because first of all, you're a close talker and you want me to punch you in the face. See, I don't want to do that. So you better be glad I got a strategy, because I didn't always. And I've always, you know, a lot of times I was listening to, I sent it to you on Instagram, and the gentleman was talking about unlearning. And I really think part of having a strategy is unlearning, you know, and even, you know, oh, well, I deal with that person, this person, that person, and that person because they're family. Okay, well, first of all, you don't have to. right? You don't have to deal with whoever you don't want to deal with. Even if that's your dad, even if that's your mom, like you learn how to handle them in the way that you can handle them. You learn how to manage them in conversations that you can have. And I just think it's about finding out what you can do, because you don't have to throw the whole window, throw the whole family out the window, but there are ways to figure out if they're, a person that you need to be engaged with for 3 minutes, if there's some person that you need to be engaged with a minute, or someone that you can actually, have conversations and stuff with. But you have to decide that for yourself. And actually a lot of what makes people successful, what's make you successful, the things that have made people successful in the past are the decisions they make. So being able to decide, yes, I will deal with this. No, I won't do that. Yes, I will do this money making activity. No, I'm not going to do that money making activity. I'm going to sit here and eat this bowl of cereal while watching cartoons, right? Like it's about what you're deciding, what I'm deciding. Because whenever I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to me. Okay. So I'm saying that, it's about what I'm deciding, what we decide to do. We decide to be successful. We decide to not be successful. We decide to be healthy based on the decisions that we make every day. So we get to decide. You don't have to hang out, talk to, or be around that person. You don't have to talk to, be around, or go to that job, but you need to figure out what it's going to be that makes it different. And you decide that for yourself.
Yeah. That part right there, you need to make a clip and put it out on all social. I like that. You need to decide should be a t-shirt also. And if you had a series on that, I would watch it.
Would you? But you're gonna watch.
Yes, I would.
You watch all the things. You are supportive, like, and I don't take that for granted. So I didn't want to say it like I did it like a hand wave, but you are a dependable friend. You are a dependable partner. You're a dependable strategist. You are a dependable. I can't speak on you being a dependable wife, but I mean, as far as to me, like you are dependable when it comes to giving honest feedback and like, nah, I don't think you should. You don't even say that. You don't even say, nah, dude, you shouldn't do that. You'll be like, have you considered this? Have you looked at this? Like, you don't be like, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. You don't say that, but you will say, have you considered this? Did you look at this app? Let me send you this real quick. And you, based on the same thing I tell Doc, please send me next time you send me something and let it be your affiliate link. Thank you. And please, and thank you. Okay.
There's an app for that to keep your affiliate links. It's called Link Stash. And yes, I will send you that because it makes it very easy for you to have all of your affiliate links in one place and send it out, or just share all of your affiliate links at one time and have people look through what you're using. So I really like that.
You see that? That's that stuff I be talking about she be doing, right? And do you have a link? Do you have an affiliate link for Link Stash? You see what I'm saying?
No, it's free right now. So everybody gets it for free.
And it's free 99. Thank you for that. See, that's good tea. You always have the good tea. Like when you talking to us, you should be like,
let me ask some more nosy questions of you. Speaking of making decisions and you deciding, how did you decide on 21 days for your next event? How did you decide on making it via email? I want to know.
I actually took a course, and that was like the old way that people kind of did summits before these 2-day, 3-day, summits, before these models, this hardcore business. That's what, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to keep it a secret, because I hate when I be like, well, who is it? Hardcore business. And so that is the model that they would use. And I just think that model is so sexy. Just being able to, set that up and have that drip over 21 days and just really building this relationship for me and building this relationship with me. And I just really liked the idea of that, because 21 days, they talk about it takes 21 days to form a habit. So I would love to be these people's habit, you know?
I like that.
Yeah.
So what's coming after your 21-day email event? I really like that, by the way. What's coming after
Yeah.
that?
Um, I I like the idea of kind of, there's an opportunity to get all the replays for the low price of $47. You can get all of the replays of the 21 replays, but also in those replays, I'll send, they'll get 30 days of pocket coaching. So they'll kind of get me in there where they tell me to go. So if they want me in their email, if they want me to send them a text message, where every day for 30 days, I'm kind of rooting them on, cheering them on, telling them to decide, telling them to take a walk, not even telling them, but just kind of asking them, coaching them through, having a conversation with them, about, are you taking care of yourself? Are you getting rest? So when we're talking about wealth and we're talking about prosperity and we're talking about abundance, we're missing some of those foundational things, and knowing that that abundance starts with taking care of ourselves and having healthy bodies, healthy sleep, healthy relationships, and just kind of rooting them through those foundations of their mental health strategy, because that is the foundation of an abundant life. And just so there's pocket coaching, and there's also a 3-hour event that will talk about your mental health strategy and how to use that in your personal and professional life. But this stuff is part of the bundle. And then after, I get to do that, get people to get to know me and experience me. I'm actually doing a mental health strategy boot camp.
I like that.
Yeah, and it's a 6-week boot camp, and knowing how having a mental health strategy can up level you in your personal life, with your relationships with your friends and family, how it can up level you in your professional life, whether it's your job or it's your personal business. Though that foundation of a mental health strategy it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. So that's what's next.
I
And
like
that's
that.
part two of knowing what's next. A lot of people are just walking through this life and they don't know what's next. You need to know what's next, what's pulling you forward. Because if you're not being pulled forward, then you're just being drugged back.
Yeah.
What people say, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Otherwise you're just standing there. So, what's next? People need to know what's next. What's next? What's next? What's next for you that's listening? What's next? What's next for you, Erica? While you asking questions?
So I listened to this guy, it's been a while, CT Fletcher, and he speaks on being obsessed.
Mm.
And I'm thinking, what can I be obsessed about that it
Mm.
just must be done? This must be complete. Because for me, success is finishing what I started.
You better preach.
So I'm doing this series. I have this group. I asked my speakers to join the Facebook group, Coaches Host Engaging and Profitable Virtual Summits. I want it to be so listeners can join this group and interact with the speakers. And I want to build this community around hosting events, and to know that if you need help, there's plenty of people in this group that will be willing to help you, even talk to you, or just help you find a platform, or maybe even help you put it together, or co-host with you, or collaborate with you. I love events. I think people should host events. I like talking to people who are hosting events, because everybody's got something really interesting going on, and makes me more aware of what's going on around me, because the world is bigger than my little area here in South Carolina, and I want to know about it.
So I'm interested in, with the world opening back up, what are you considering? Are you considering a hybrid model? Because, a hybrid with these virtual events, a real life with a hybrid model where, people can gather all over the place and experience these virtual events together. What, the world is opening back up, Erica?
Yeah, I thought about that. Gary Vaynerchuk says ideas are nothing, execution is everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. My idea for hybrid was drive-throughs, drive-in events. I want to bring them back up, bring them back to life, have people sit in their cars, have people on stage, have them on the screen, and that screen will be projected to the world. So that was because I'm still scared here in South Carolina.
Yeah, that part.
Nobody believes that COVID is real. Nobody.
Yeah.
If you get sick, oh, you just have a cold. There's no such thing as a pandemic.
People die from colds all the time. People die from the flu all the time, right? Because it can't be COVID. Like, it can't be the Delta variant. Like, that can't be it. I just think people are in denial. But I get that.
Yeah.
Definitely still.
Oh, I'm okay. I have the vaccine because there's no such thing as the Delta variant. So,
right. I think. I think that's true. So, we were doing that. My mom, when COVID was going on, they were doing drive-in church. And I thought that was so dope. They would turn to the radio station. They all turned to, whatever radio station it was. And they would listen to the sermon, like they had the choir and all of that sort of thing. And I thought that was so dope. And when they opened up regular church, I told my mom, I was like, you better not go to regular church. Like, you better watch it online, because there is you just keep going to you can go to drive-in church, but I don't condone, I think people, just because people don't want to deal with COVID, just because people don't want to deal with the breakup, just because people don't want to deal with whatever it is you don't want to deal with, quitting your job, whatever you don't want to deal with, then they just don't engage. They just ignore it. Like, COVID isn't real. Like, your relationship isn't real. Like, that breakup wasn't real. Like, you have to acknowledge what's real. And COVID is real. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It might be a man-made, maybe man-made, but it's still real. Like, it still has an impact. And but I'm most hesitant to say this, but not really. But thank God for COVID. I think it created a really good reset in my life, about, what's important, and my life is important, and how do I want to show up? Like, what's the impact? Because in a moment, everything that we have can be taken away from us. In a moment, you can't leave out of the house, and in that house, is it the people and the things and the places and the experiences that you love? So if you ever had to be stuck back in that house again, and you have to face yourself and you have to face your reality, do you love it?
Yeah.
And I love my life. I already was living a quarantine life. You know what I'm saying? I can stay in this house forever.
Well, the one thing about being stuck in a house is that I can tell my 6-year-old anything. He just believes me. I told him he couldn't go to first grade unless he learned how to tie his shoes. Turns out he really wants to go to first grade. So yay for him learning how to tie his shoes.
But what? That's good. I like that, right? You can't go if you don't know how to say these terms in Spanish. You can't go. And I really want you to go.
Me gusta en español, but
see, we do everything.
But
Erica, man.
Your event, your email event, your mental health strategies, 21 days.
Yes.
When does it start?
So it starts the 28th. Is it the 28th? Yeah, I want y'all to sign up, because the 20. Look, I'm sorry. I should know, because see, that's what happens when you get assistance. Yeah, the 28th, which is a Wednesday.
How did you know you needed help with your event, with this event? Did you ask for help with your last events?
No, I didn't ask for help the last event, and I probably shouldn't ask for help this event either. But because I wanted it to be, just because, this is a lesson, just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Just because I can put everything together, just because I can upload, just because I can do the automation for the emails, just because I can, that doesn't mean all of that stuff is the best use of my time. And so this time I decided, I'm really wanting to step into my my CEO, my bossness, and and be able to really flex and use my time to create more opportunities, to create more relationship, to create more a life of more. And so I actually reached out to get some help. Like they help with my social media, but what I'm learning is that there are other ways to have help. Like Erica has this love of apps that she knows how to share in the best ways. Those apps are help. If I know how to set up those, I could set up these workflows and they can do their things between Zaps, between Repurpose, between Restream, OneStream, between, all of these apps, and knowing how to use those things, they really could have been a replacement for the amount of help that I requested. Planoly, all of these things, uploading your Facebook business page where it post for you in Instagram and Facebook, knowing how to use this technology really could have been a better use of my mental health, a better use of my money, just a better use. But sometimes you have to go through that to know that.
Yeah. Hey, I love automation when it comes to setting up events. Mm-hmm. So maybe that could be my my next event, talking about the automation events.
Like, even if it's like, for me, it's like, what are these workflows, and I know that this app does this, and I know that this app does this, and I know that this app does this. But when it comes to helping me set up my Restream, or helping me to set up my Repurpose, or to helping me set those things up where they make sense and they seem human, where my personality is still showing, through this automation and showing through these workflows. And it makes my event an experience and not just an email. I would love something like that. Even as I'm, creating the courses, that will come after all of this, as I'm talking about the boot camp, it's going to, be a course and, a real life experience. But I want also the course to be an experience, right? I want people to be able to, and that's what I'm looking at now, because I'm gonna tell y'all all my tea, because that means that I need to hurry up and do it. But there's ways that you can make your Kindle, because you can get on your Kindle and they can send you to links and things like that, to make even your ebooks a lot more experiential, like, where they're more of like an experience. There's a playlist that you can listen to while you're reading this part of the book. And I just really want stuff to be to be an experience. Okay, while you're doing this, get your lavender out, because you need to be calm when we're doing this. And I want it to be what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you feel, that kind of thing. I really want life to be an experience. So, and what are the workflows behind it?
Yeah.
And I should be able to have like one person, you should, I think technology is so good, there's so many things, and there's so many people like you that can help people set up these workflows, even though that's not your hustle, but I know but you can do that. Like you may love it or may not, I don't know, but there's that can help you set up these workflows. And then so you realize, well, I only really need one assistant, to manage what comes on the other end of those workflows, to help me manage those emails, or to even help me upload like my Planoly, or even help upload the stuff that comes out the other end of those workflows.
Yeah. So you record yourself setting them up, and you show your assistant how to watch the videos to set them up, and what do you do with them once they're set up.
What comes out. like we're talking about, as you're doing this, and my little assistant's in here recording and texting. Why your assistant ain't in here though? You know what I'm saying?
It is. I'm using
Is-
Recall.
Oh, is it Recall me or you? Oh, it's you. See, I thought it was me. I thought it was my note taker in here because I didn't look. So right. So as you have your note taker and you're transcribing this, so you're pulling out like your quotes, because a lot of time, for your social media, you don't even know what you're saying, like, unless you're talking. So you're like, oh wow, I said that. Oh wow. Wow. But automation and your assistant can help you, pull those things out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Working with Perfect Recall and what was it? The guy, his name is Hanny Mora. Do you know the program?
Yeah, that's the repurpose.io.
Repurpose. So I'm trying to decide if I still need repurpose. It takes all my videos and send them to where I need it to go. But if I'm streaming live and it's hooked up to one stream, it's going where I need it to go. I do like that it makes snippets.
Yeah.
But with Perfect Recall, I can read it and make the snippets. I'm not really good at editing, so I don't edit. So
and that's very a genius, so don't.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier for me because I just don't. But Hanny says if you set up your what is it, I want to call them page breakers, but your timestamps using Facebook, then Repurpose will go ahead and make clips of all of those timestamps. He says you just got to set it up once you do the video. And I haven't done that, but I know it would make it so much easier for me if I did go through every video and make the timestamps.
So you mean like how we're talking and you were like, yes, go talk about deciding, you would have wrote down like the minutes that we said that. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But in Perfect Recall, I can just find that line in the text if it's spelled right.
Right.
I'm dyslexic, so I probably wouldn't know anyway. So I can just make that clip. And that's what I've been doing I've started doing for my speakers, making landing pages using Perfect Recall and Vadu.
We talking after this, because see, I'm gonna have to make an allotment for you, because, and when I say, do y'all know what allotment is? Do you know what that is? I'm sending you a retainer. I'm sending you money every month. Okay, that's what. So in the Army, we had allotments. So whenever you want a bill, you want your car note paid, you allot this amount of money that goes to pay your car note. You allot this amount of money to go pay for your trailer, whatever. So an allotment. So that's why I say you need a retainer. It's where I pay you every month. Yeah. And I probably should just hurry up and do that before you decide that's something that you want, so I could get the best price.
I wanted to also let people know that with the mental health strategy show, the 21 days, you also set up a guest board for that. So if everyone on the email list wanted to get together and talk, they could do that through your guest board you have set up. And I thought that was amazing.
Yes,
very nice and
because who introduced me to guest board? Erica did, because a lot of people aren't friendly with Facebook. People still want to have community, but they don't necessarily want to get locked up in Facebook, because there's lots of distractions there. You may be like, I'm here to have this conversation within these in these confinements of this conversation. And I think guest board is such a excellent way to move the conversation. Yeah.
I say it's considered because you telling us now that you're going to send us out through email, and we don't know who's all on there, and other people might want to talk about one of the mental health strategies with other people. And I thought that was very nice to add that in there. And I think that increases engagement for an event, having a community.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that because sometimes like, and then you want to have this conversation, but I'm having a conversation with someone that's not even going to their event or they don't even know what I'm talking about. But when you're having a conversation with, they're like-minded people because you're all going, to the same event. And it's an opportunity to, also in that group are also the speakers. So you can actually engage, with the speakers directly and be a part of their personal communities and be a part of their conversations. And yeah, I just think it's a good way to intentionally create your world.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I've kept you over time because I love talking with you.
It's so
So
short.
let's tell the good people where they can sign up for your event. I have the link here and I'm going to post it under the video once we stop. And I've already noticed that I've used an old was it comment or description, so I have to change the description.
Okay. So it's a short link. So it's hiswitchy.io, and that's switchy SWITCHY.io, and it's mental health strategy show all together. So that's hi.switchy.io/mental health strategy show. And we would love for you to see you over in the guest board, to be a part of the community. Excited for you to hear the interviews. Our wonderful and beloved Erica is one of the speakers, and her strategies are, like always, on point. So we love to have you.
All right, Nyota Gordon, mental health adaptability coach, mental health strategist. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.